Hello, future chartered accountants. You're welcome back to my YouTube channel. On this channel, I'm going to be teaching you all you need to ace Ican examination. If you are new here, kindly hit the subscribe button. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all you do all the time. You guys rock. Please don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share this video to everybody that will benefit from it, because on this channel I'm going to be teaching you everything, building your confidence, preparing you, and straightening your path to becoming the best chartered accountant in the whole of Nigeria. All right, so let's keep going. So what are we doing today? So in our previous classes, we spoke about a lot of things. We have talked about cover page. We've talked about executive summary. We've talked about financial statement analysis. If you haven't watched all those videos, make sure you do so, because you're going to learn a lot, a lot, a lot. So today we'll be talking about financial data analysis, and I'll be giving you an introduction just like I did when I taught you financial statement analysis. And like I said in the previous video, in the previous class, that nobody is going to ask you what is the financial data analysis, or what are the techniques of carrying out a financial data analysis. But when you understand these things, you understand concepts, you understand the reason why you're doing certain things, you understand what is behind that thing. Like, okay, what's this thing about? It's easier to actually carry out analysis, it's easier to know what to write, it's easier to interpret, because you have proper understanding, you have a good foundation, right? So all these videos are just for foundation, just so you can understand what it means. So when we are doing the practical aspect and we're saying, oh, do this here, you will not be, "Oh, what are we doing?" You have a clear picture, right? So today, in today's class, I'm going to be telling you what is financial data analysis. I'm going to be telling you how you find the requirements, how you know if it's a financial data analysis or not, the common techniques and the common pitfalls as well. So without much ado, let's dive into the class for today. So what is a financial data analysis? A financial data analysis is simply an analysis carried out on projects, contracts, or current proposals of the company. So when you are actually analyzing a contract, you're analyzing a project or proposals that the company is considering and embarking on, then you are doing a financial data analysis. So you are analyzing the data, you're analyzing information as regards that. Do you understand? So that's a what? That's a financial data analysis. Now, a financial data analysis is carried out to assess the current proposals that the company is considering. Remember when we talked about the financial analysis video. Please, if you have not watched that video, please make sure you watch it. The video of financial analysis, where I explained that the financial statement analysis is like looking at the past of the company. I use like your childhood. The financial data analysis is looking at your current state, your adulthood, and strategic analysis is what's looking at the future, the prospects of the company. So, a financial data analysis is carried out to assess the current proposals that the company is considering. And I explained here what is data from secondary school definition, basic definition of what data is. Data is what? Unprocessed information, right? In the same vein, financial data analysis involves analyzing unprocessed data and presenting detailed information in a report. So now it's called, I was trying to make you understand why it is called a financial data analysis. Just like we did in the financial statement analysis class, right? Why I explained a lot. If you have not watched that video, please make sure you watch it. Check my channel, you will find the video there. Now, financial data analysis is called financial data analysis because you are analyzing financial data. What is data? Data is unprocessed information, right? So you'll be given data on the revenue, the costs of the project, the inflow from the contract, the outflow from the contract. You'll be given other things that will come up and everything. So those are data. You have not processed it yet, right? Now that's data, information that has not been processed yet. So now you're supposed to analyze that financial data and do what? And interpret it and give recommendations and conclusions. Turn that data to information. Because now in a company, if you're just seeing outflow 50 million, inflow 100 million, working capital 20 million. You're just seeing so many information. That's not, if that's too many data, that's not information. So now you, as the future chartered accountant, you are expected to carry that data together and say, okay, now the revenue is 100 million, right? The cost is 50 million. We're going to incur working capital of 10 million. We're going to incur maybe some other things and some other costs that are surrounding that contract or project. So you, as a financial accountant, you're supposed to carry that data and analyze it and then submit a report. So when the board of directors or your the top management or whosoever you are submitting the report to, when they see it, they'll be able to understand. Okay, this is what the project is going to be. Oh, this project is not viable. Oh, this project is viable. We should embark on this project. We should not embark on. That's what they want to know. All those plenty figures, plenty numbers is not information to anybody. So now, financial data analysis involves analyzing that financial data so that it's not no longer be a financial data. It's not become a what? A financial information in that sense. Do you understand? It's not become an information, a processed data. So that way they're just trying to do so. The data can be the proposed contract terms, that's the inflow, outflow, the proposed project income and expenses. So you are analyzing the financial data. You have to determine the most appropriate tool, analyze the data given, and then report the necessary information, which includes interpretation, conclusions, and then recommendations. So that's what you are just basically doing in financial data analysis. Now, the big question is, where do you find the requirements? Now, how do I even know that I'm doing financial data analysis? Now, just like I said in the previous video on financial statement analysis, please, if you have not watched that video, please make sure you watch it. On financial data analysis, financial statement analysis, I also explained it as well. Now, financial data analysis is usually the second requirement in your case study examination. Now, just like I said, it is usually, does not mean, oh, ye and amen, that it's going to always be like that. But studying past questions, studying previous Ican questions, and the sequence, looking at the sequence of how questions have been set and how the requirements have been structured, the financial data analysis is usually the second requirement. But please don't cram this because anything can change, and so you will not get confused. Probably you're not seeing it as a second requirement, it can come all messy. Please don't do that. But in most cases, the financial data analysis is usually the second requirement in your case study examination. Now, the requirements are usually found in the unseen. And I explained earlier that unseen is a portion of examination question that will be reviewed in the exam hall. In the exam hall, you understand? So 2 weeks before your exam, a portion of the examination question will be released on the ICANN website where you can download it. But not everything will be shown, obviously. When you enter into the examination hall, they'll now give you a complete question. And so you have the pre-seen. The pre-seen is the part you have seen before, and the unseen is the part that you are just going to see in the examination hall. So most times the requirements for the financial data analysis is usually in the unseen. That is the part that has been given, that the part that will be given to you in the examination hall. So you'll be given detailed information about the contract or the proposed project or whatever the company is trying to consider. You'll be given detailed information about it. They will detail every information. So you don't need to worry about, oh, how do I get information? Do I start formulating information? Do I start formulating data by myself? Do I start gathering? No, you don't need to do that. Don't worry. Everything will be given to you in the examination question. Okay. Now, the requirements are usually found in the first exhibits of the unseen. Now, take note, I'm using the word usually. Please don't cram these things. Please don't cram these things. It is not always the case, but most times it's usually in the first few pages of the unseen. So now I'm just trying to give you tips. So in case you have checked from back to back, you have checked cover to cover, page to page, you have not seen and you could not find the requirement, or you didn't locate where the requirement is. So you cannot say, okay, let me check the first few pages, right? So if you don't find it easily or you are confused as to where it is, because I can question can be more than 10 pages, 15 pages, 20 pages. So it's a lot to check, right? So in case you have checked cover to cover and you have not still found where the requirement is. So that's why I'm giving you this tip. So you just, okay, let me check the first few pages of my unseen because it's most likely going to be there, right? So that's why I'm giving you these tips. So now, during our financial statement analysis class, We use November 2019 diet as an example. So let's just continue in that vein, right? So this is exhibit 7. And we treated requirement 1 in the financial statement analysis class. That's the video. Please, if you have not watched it, make sure you do that as well. And now today we focus on requirement 2. Requirement 2 is what we'll be focusing on because that is our financial data analysis, right? I know, remember we said that financial data analysis would involve probably a contract, involve a business proposal, involve a it will involve probably a project or something like that. So that's why you know. Now, this exhibit 1 now talk about management accounts, financial accounts, all those things are financial statement analysis. We're not concerned with that here. I've treated that in our previous class. So if you missed that class, please watch that video. And the second one is what? It's talking about what? A contract supply, an assessment of the contract supply service as contained in Exhibit 10 and Exhibit 11. You are also required to critically evaluate the proposed strategic business opportunity, the installation of meat processing plant by DFFP as contained in Exhibit 12, and discuss broader commercial and ethical considerations as well as the risk that may be associated in accepting or venturing into these business proposals. So that's basically what they told us to do. So we are going to treat it in this class. So the above information shows the requirements of the case study. That is the second requirement is the financial data analysis because the second requirement covers contract, covers projects, proposed business proposals, and that's the financial data analysis. So assessing the current proposals of the company, what they are currently considering, what they're currently considering to accept or reject, to venture in, not to venture in. So basically, that's what we're going to be looking at today. That's what we're going to be looking at today. Okay. Yes. So how the question and that question is how do I know if it's a financial data analysis or not? How do I know? From the picture above, we're given two requirements, right? The second is a financial data analysis. Usually, the second requirement is a financial data analysis, but do not cram it in that way. You need to check properly. So now, there's some things, there's some signs, and there's some keys that you can actually use to know some steps that you can follow to determine whether you are doing a financial data analysis or not. So I'll be showing you those steps in this video. So now, the first thing is check the requirements. All you need to check is the requirements basically. Now, is the requirements telling me, is it talking about a contract? Is it talking about a project? Is it talking about a proposal? What is it really talking about? So if it's talking about financial statements, management accounts, obviously this is a financial statement analysis, right? But if it's talking about a contract, a project, a business proposal, then you definitely know it's a financial data analysis. Just like here, we have contract supply service, we have proposed strategic business opportunity, and all of that. So it's basically what is definitely going to be a financial data analysis. So from the example above, you are required to assess a contract supply service from a retail storage shop and the installation of the meat processing plant of DFFP. Now, DFFP is what Detoy Farm and Farm Products. That's the name of the company. That's the client that you actually preparing this report for. That's DFFP, Detoy Farm and Farm Products. Good. So after that, now that this indicates that what you are to do a financial data analysis. Another thing you should also check is what check for data. Check for data. Once you can determine that you have to perform a financial data analysis, now you have known that okay, I'm supposed to carry out a financial data analysis, right? You have been able to see there's a contract, a business proposal that has been ascertained, right? So the next thing you need the data. Remember, what are we doing? We are what analyzing financial data. We're analyzing the unprocessed information, right? So check for the data. Where is the data? Once you can determine that you are performing a financial statement analysis, check for the data concerning the contract. Now, in this case, now we are kind of nice to us because they told us, oh, as contained in Exhibit 10, as contained in Exhibit 11, as contained in Exhibit 12, right? Which I showed, which we saw in the question, right? We have seen that in the question. So as contained in Exhibit 10, in Exhibit 11, in Exhibit 12. So this is basically like they have told us where to look at it. So check for the data. Go to those exhibits that you were told and check for the data. In most cases, this can also be found in the unseen. Yes. The exhibit will usually be in your sync. Check the list of exhibits as well for anything related. Now, check the image below. Now, look at this now, for instance. Now, exhibits, they told us 10, and you can see email from Tone Ade Rogba, the shop, right? That's the contract supply service from the shop. And exhibit 11, this was reaction to the shop contract terms. Abino. And the last exhibit 12 was proposed installation of integrated meat processing plant. So all these things now most times will be seen in your own thing, be seeing you unseen. Do you understand? So can you see? Can you see the head unseen? Can you see it unseen? So basically, this most time going to be unseen. But don't cram it like I said. Please have an open mind. I'm just giving you tips as per how the sequence of ICANN exams have been, so that in case you find you are lost, in case you are a bit confused, at least these tips would help you to find yourself. But please, like I said, don't cram it. Keep an open mind. Understand these things. So when you understand these things, you'll be able to, even if they scatter it, they put it as in the after on scene, the brief scene, anywhere they put it, you would be able to identify it and do all the needful and all what's necessary, right? So the next thing you do is that you determine the appropriate tool. Now you have looked at the data. Now the data will determine what you're supposed to do, right? If they give you information about merger, they're telling you something about acquisition, obviously you know you cannot do MPB for that, right? But if they're giving you information like okay, cost of capital, they're giving you inflow, they're giving you outflow, maybe scrap value, they're giving you information like that. Do you get? So obviously you definitely know that you're going to do net present value, right? So the kind of information, that's why I told you check for the information first, check for the data rather. Okay, I'm saying information. Yes, it should be checked for the data because it's the data we're processing to become information, right? So yeah, check for the data. Why is data in those exhibits? So that data would help us to determine the appropriate tool that we're supposed to use, the suitable tool for carrying out the analysis. Then after that, you analyze the data and present the necessary information. So you analyze the data using the most appropriate tool that you have actually determined as a result of scanning through the data, right? Then you analyze the data, and the analysis should be done in the appendices section. In the appendices section, please. Put it in the appendices section. Put it in the appendices section. Don't calculate in between your reports. It should look all messed up. So do it in the appendices section, then you can link it. I taught you how to link appendices. I taught you all about appendices. If you have not watched that video on appendices, please check my channel. I posted a video on all about appendices. You can just watch it to help you a lot. So the analysis should be done in the appendices section of your report. After analyzing, go to the body of the report, then interpret, conclude, and give suitable recommendations. I use the word suitable. Don't give recommendation based on what you have crammed or based on what you have seen in past questions. Give recommendations that are suitable and are in line with that project or contract in view. Now, the next thing is techniques. My dear friend, my dear future chartered accountant, there are many techniques that can be used to carry out a financial statement analysis, financial data analysis. There are many, many tools that you can use actually to carry out a financial data analysis. They include net present value, payback period, volume profit analysis, valuation method, so on. There's so many unending techniques. So please don't just think everything is net present value. Like I said in my financial statement analysis class, I made it to understand that most students, one of the pitfalls is that students believe that everything should be ratio analysis. My dear friend, everything cannot be ratio analysis. Please, it's not always going to be ratio analysis. Like there was a question, I think May 2021 or so, was it May 2021, that talked about performance scorecard. You understand? There are some questions that will talk about merger and acquisition. So don't just cram it like that. Do you understand? So it's not always going to be net present value, but in most cases, it can actually be net because if you are present a project, it can actually be a net present value question. Do you understand? So that's why you have to acclimatize yourself, go back to your notes, read on them, look at your past question, look at your textbooks, your study texts, read it, scan through again. Most of the evaluation techniques, most of the techniques have been taught before in previous levels. CVPA you have been taught before. I think CVPA was taught in costing in your ATS 3. If you did not do ATS, CVPA, you can go through it again. That's why you have text. So you not doing ATS is not a barrier at all. Go through the text, look at the evaluation methods, learn them again. Merger and acquisition, for instance, now was taught in your SFM, your strategic financial management. So all these things you have to say it's good to not just focus on one course. All of them are actually linked. All of them are linked. So please, there's no one way to it. There's so many techniques. So you can just study it and then you'll be able to understand better and apply the techniques where necessary. So what are the common pitfalls? The first one is the first one is wrong technique. Now, ratio analysis, I was explaining here. You know, we're talking about financial analysis. Ratio analysis and net present value are not the only techniques, please. Ratio analysis are not the only, please, they're not the only techniques because every student believes that Ican exam, ratio, NPV, ratio, NPV. It's not always going to be ratio analysis and NPV. That's next present value. They're not the only techniques that can be implemented. Actually, there are several other techniques. Like I just explained earlier, we have cost borrowing profit analysis, we have valuation methods, we have payback, we have so many, so many that can be implemented. And these techniques, the technique you use should depend on the requirement of the case study. Don't say, oh, I know ratio analysis best. That's what I want to apply. Or I know next present value best. That's what I want to apply. So if they don't give you parameters that you need, would you formulate or assume parameters? Yes, you're doing a case study exam. And as a professional accountant, you can make assumptions. Yes, but the assumptions must be realistic. Will you not make assumption by ignoring what the company gave you, ignoring what the examiner gave you, and then formulating your own? It's a different thing. Oh, the information was probably not completely given, and you want to be flexible enough. You want to display your expertise, and you want to display that, oh, I'm a chartered accountant, or I'm going to be a chartered accountant. Oh, I want to display my expertise. Oh, let me make some realistic and suitable assumptions. It's different than you now ignoring everything that I'm giving you and then formulating your own. Please don't do that. The technique you use should depend on what the examiner has asked you to do, depend on what the requirement of the case study. Then second one is poor decision making. Now, why are you carrying out a financial data analysis? It's not that the company isn't should be it's the company that gave you their revenue to be 100 million. This is just an example, a hypothetical situation. So I'm just giving an example. It's the company that gave you that told you that revenue is 100 million. It's the company that also told you cost is 50 million. It's the company that also told you working capital is 10 million. They have all those information already with them, and they have that data. It's not your information because that's unprocessed, right? They have that data with them already, so they don't need you to come and be telling them revenue again is 100 million, cost is 50 million, working capital is 10 million. They don't need you to come and repeat what they already know. They want you to help them to analyze this thing so that they can make what they can make decisions. So now, if you are not coming, you're not making poor decisions, you're not making good decisions for them, then it's like a total waste of your services. It's total waste of them calling you to come and help them to analyze because you are telling them what they already know, right? So how would you feel if you were the owner of a company and you have paid handsomely to a chartered accountant and the person is still telling you exactly what you knew before? No piece of information, no news, no nothing. Do you understand? So you have to ensure the major reason for carrying out financial data analysis is to make decisions. So you have to ensure that you present the information in such a way that the company can easily make decisions without technical jargons, without big English that often you will be confused if they ask you to explain. So please make the English simplified, but keep it professional as well. So inflexibility, you have to be as flexible as possible. In the examination hall, you are a professional, so you can make assumptions, just like I said, but they must be what's realistic. In fact, let me even put it there by the side. You can make with capital letters so that you will not forget realistic assumptions, but they must be justified. For instance, if net present value is the most appropriate and the number of years or the cost of capital was not specified, you can make assumptions. You can make assumptions as a professional. You cannot ask the client for extra information. Use professional skills you have acquired over time to perform the analysis. Please don't go and say, in your conclusion, no conclusion can be made concerning this contract because the client did not give us complete information. The client therefore should give us complete information. So Do you understand? It's just it's a different thing that next present value is the most appropriate abi, and you were not giving inflow, you were not giving outflow, you were not giving cost of capital, you were not even give you only giving scrap value. Now, how do you want to do that? But it's different that it's a different situation if you are giving outflow, you are giving inflow, you are giving scrap value, but you are not giving cost of capital. You can say, okay, every other information was given, just one. You can assume. Not that you now assume everything, obviously. Do you understand? But you don't go and start asking the clients to be giving you information. Do you understand? That the clients should give us more information. No, don't do that, okay? Don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Be flexible. Do you understand? Be flexible. You are allowed to make realistic assumptions. Realistic assumptions. Please. Realistic assumptions. Realistic assumptions. So poor display of professional skepticism. Now, as a professional, we are expected to have a questioning mind. We are expected to have a questioning mind. Do not take all you are giving without properly assessing it. You have to exercise professional judgment and intelligence. Professional skepticism is very important in financial analysis. Do you understand? It's very so you have to have a questioning mind. Okay, this information, these probabilities, like giving us probabilities. Did you actually analyze these probabilities well? You understand? You have to display like, oh, I know this thing very well. Do you understand? So it's part of what? It's part of financial data analysis. The another issue again is that poor interpretation and conclusion. Very, very poor interpretation can actually be a problem. Poor interpretation and conclusion too is a big, big problem. So the why. As much as calculations and interpretations matter, it is very important to interpret your results properly. You have to ensure you carry out all the analysis that is necessary and then explain the results in such a way that the company can make proper decisions. When interpreting and concluding, you cannot just make conclusions without stating the reason why that decision is made. You cannot just say, accept the project, venture into the project, accept the contract. You cannot just say that. Why? This project should be accepted because it gives a positive NPV, next present value. This project should be rejected because it gives a negative next present value, which implies that the project is not viable, which implies that the project is not profitable. You cannot just tell them, go left or go right, don't do this, don't do that. You have to give what? A reason. You understand? So, poor interpretation and conclusion. Remember that you're doing a financial data analysis to help the company make a decision. So, you have to ensure that that is achieved. Do you understand? The next one is poor structure. Poor structure. There is no particular structure for the financial data analysis, but you have to arrange this properly. Do you understand? Now, but in this our question now, we're told to look at contract supply service from the shop, and we're told to look at the the installation of the integrated meat processing plants, right? So you cannot be talking about contract supply service, then you go into installation of meat processing plant, then you come out from there, you enter contract supply service, you stop there, yeah, everything is just smuggled up. Like I can't even at a glance or even reading it in 10 minutes. I have to spend hours reading your report before I can deduce what you're trying to say. No, so it has to be about okay. Now you're doing contract supply service. If you want to do it heading by heading, like I explained earlier, you can do it heading by heading, and you can decide to do it paragraph by paragraph. So you can have a heading, contract supply service. So this is something like this is what I'm talking about. So you can have a heading like this. You can have a heading, contract supply service. Then you explain everything you have there. After that, installation of meat processing plants. And afterwards, you explain everything there. I may decide not to do it heading by heading. We can just do it, okay, paragraph one, we talk all about contract supply service. Paragraph two, we talk about installation of meat processing plants. Like I said, any decision you're taking, any step, any method you are using, just ensure that you are fast. That's what matters, right? So I cannot be talking about meat installation of meat processing plants here. Do you know, I'm talking about installation under contract supply service. And I'm talking about installation. No, let everything be arranged. Let there be a proper structure for your report. And finally, missing requirements. Missing requirements. Missing requirements. So It's very, very important. Now, the requirements given by the examiner can come in multiple folds. Like now, for instance, now here now, we are looking at contract supply service, we're looking at installation of meat processing plants, and we're also discussing the ethical and commercial considerations as well as the risk. Do you understand? So all these things now we have to assess two projects. The first one is the contract supply service, second is the installation of the meat processing plant. You have to ensure you cover all that is required to get good grades. So don't miss out on any requirements. So that's all for today. Today we talked about what a financial data analysis is, how you find the requirements. We also talked about how you know if it is financial data analysis or not. Then I explained techniques, which I where I explained that there's no one way, there's so many ways. So you have to be open, revise your notes, read everything again. Do you understand? And the common pitfalls. So in the next class, we're looking at a practical example of how a financial data analysis should be written in your report. A practical example. That's what we're talking about in our next class. So did you learn a lot today? I hope you did. Please, if you have not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. Please give my video a thumbs up. Comment if you haven't commented. Use the comment section, guys. Use the comment section. Ask your questions. You know, a lot of people have been sending me DMs, and fine, yes, no problem. But you can use the comment section. Use the comment section. You never can tell that question that you are sending to me privately could be somebody else also point of confusion. Or when you ask the question and I answer here, many people could actually benefit from it. So ask your question. Feel free, right? Comment. Tell me videos you'd like me to create. Share this video to everybody, subscribe, and then I'll see you in my next class where we'll be talking about a practical example, looking at the structure, how it actually looks, not just theory, but practically. So, see you in my next video. Bye.